Bitcoin reaches above 50,000 to 51 before slipping today. Let's bring in Mr. Bauer. Bitcoin with Bauer. Scott's the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Okay, Scott, so when you get to new big levels like this in Bitcoin, does it mean that we're breaking out to the next one, or is it time to fade and take profits?
Well, first off, the June future at CME actually hit 54,000 today. If you're looking for the real high there, but you know, Oliver, there's been some sideways trade over the last week or so. There really has been, you know, compared to how this thing is traded over the last weeks and even last month. So anytime we've seen that sideways trade, that has set up for a big move, one way or the other. That has really set up for a big move here. So, you know, there's certainly a lot of FOMO here. There's certainly a lot going on with you know, usage from banks, and every day we're seeing something else here. Some other news with some company coming out, and you know, whether it's Morgan Stanley, whether it's MicroStrategy, whoever it is. So there's a lot of tailwinds behind this thing right now. I don't know that we're going to get another huge breakout to the upside, but the momentum is squarely to the upside.
Scott, it's so clear that Bitcoin and gold are not even in the same realm as from price activity, right? I mean, I know there's a weeks-long discussion that one could have about whether or not that disqualifies Bitcoin as a store of value, but in terms of trading activity right now, the two could not be more polar opposite. What do you make of that? Does that mean that we should say Bitcoin is not a gold alternative, that it's a speculative asset? Should we trust gold in what it's telling us, or is gold even telling us anything anymore?
Yeah, I'm not sure that we could put a lot of stake, no pun intended, in what gold is doing right now. Though just this morning, Fed Reserve Chairman or Fed Reserve Bank President of St. Louis, Bullard, came out and said that Bitcoin is a rival to gold. It's not, you know, really a rival to the dollar, but it is to gold. I don't know that I buy into that. And he's a lot smarter than I am, but I don't know that I buy into that just yet. However, we have seen massive disparity between the two here over the last few months. Now, I will say gold has fallen out of favor from a technical standpoint, though. Watch gold here, because down at the 1775-ish level or so, 1780, which is not too far away, that was a big area of resistance about a year ago, last April, May, and it last touched there as support in December. That could hold as a very big line of support just from a technical standpoint right now. And I would bet we see a lot of buyers come in. In terms of the relationship between the two, though, I still don't think you can make much of one. I really don't. I think you really need to trade them independent of one another. And I know there's people out there that are going to say, no, I can do X with gold and Y with Bitcoin and make a lot of money doing it. And, you know, I see this relationship, but I still don't think that we have enough long-term data to really, truly make that correlation yet.
Well, as you know, for Bitcoin, I'm waiting to see what happens with Bitcoin in the next stock sell-off, if we ever get one, right? To me, I do think that's going to be interesting to give us more information, right? I mean, we've seen the way gold is traded in a lot of different environments over the last 6 months, and it's just downward. And Scott, so if we focus on gold for a sec, because it does seem like we have something a little bit easier to kind of get our hands around here. When you look at the narrative around gold that the gold bugs gave us for a long time, inflation, basically the same narratives as the Bitcoin guys, minus the tech angle, okay? So that narrative, though, the inflation expectations are rising.
Right.
Even though we haven't gotten a hot print. Yeah, gold keeps going down. So can we at least say that the narrative on that has been debunked?
I don't know if it's been debunked, but the narrative has definitely widened. Let's say that. So everybody that has been in the camp of, you know, gold is the inflation hedge, you would think would be running into buying gold on this, you know, let's call it a pretty deep sell-off that we've seen over the last few months, given the inflation expectations that we're currently seeing in the environment right now, but it's not happening.
Okay. All right, so gold's not doing anything, and if it breaks below 1,800, then things could possibly get even uglier, right? Because we're at 1795 right now, but we flirted with sub 18 in November, found support, and then before we broke out in gold, this was an area of resistance in the past. So your point, to come back to the technical, if we just kind of forget the storytelling for a sec, the technical point here is if you don't get support in gold, then basically things could get possibly even worse.
Absolutely. I mean, if the buyers don't come in at these, this technical area, 1775, 1780, and the inflation expectations persist, which they're not going away anytime soon, it's certainly the environment that we're in, then you may start seeing the narrative of what is going on here and this disconnect that now you can really, kind of put pen to paper and say, all right, this is what's happening now. We are seeing this divergence, almost, I don't want to say like we've never seen before, but there's something happening here that, not a black swan event, but got to take note of it, because that would be very, very unhealthy for gold, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, well, putting it this way, we got the chart of the percent change. It's like comical at this point, right? I mean, at least if you wanted something stable, gold's kind of done that over the past year compared to Bitcoin. But look, let's be real here. That's not why anybody wants to be in these things. They want them to make money. Right. So clearly Bitcoin's done a better job of that. Scott, all right, we got to run. Appreciate it, Mr. Bauer. Good stuff. Like the analysis here, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy.